to be presented here to the Purdue MEP folks. So yeah, happy to be here.
Okay, fantastic. If you want to pull up your slides, again, I'm still letting people in, but guys, as you're coming in here, boy, if we were in person now that, hey, hopefully that little COVID thing's behind us, we would be high-fiving, we'd be handing out business cards. What I encourage you, welcome you to do is drop your website or your LinkedIn profile in the chat box. I've dropped Jeff's, I've dropped mine. I see Gary, I know you dropped yours in there, but guys, as you're popping in here, my friend Janny, Trish, all you guys out there, drop your LinkedIn profile or your website in the chat box. Now, I do want to say this is super interactive. We want this to be just really rewarding, beneficial for you. We invite questions as we're going along. So drop them in the chat. I've got your back, my friend. I'll be keeping an eye in the chat box. So any questions that you have as we go along, just drop it in there and we will address those immediately. So Jeff Long, take it away, my friend. Let's get things rolling.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much. Again, thank you for all of you that are here. If there's anybody watching the replay, I know, people are busy. And so I really want to dive deep into this topic of video. And so let me just briefly give you like who am I? What do I do? Just so you know, I'm not just some guy off the street making this up. True Focus Media, I've owned my marketing agency since 2003. So been doing this a little bit. And I always tell people we serve Ohio, the Midwest, and beyond. And our company is kind of broken down into this pyramid. So the first one is marketing and sales automation, right? So anytime I talk with a company, it's really with the focus of how can we automate part of your sales and marketing to make it more efficient, effective, and it's so it's a 24/7 machine for you. And then how we do that is a lot of video marketing. We'll obviously be talking about that today in various capacities. Some things we won't really touch on at all is the side of my company that does web design, development, optimization, right? So that's a whole different webinar, a whole different thing. And then lastly, and we'll talk a little bit about this today, is like e-learning and online training. And I think this is a huge missed opportunity for most manufacturers. And again, we'll talk about this from a video perspective. So I have a small team around me. There's 2 full-timers that work for me, and then some contractors that work a lot for me, going back many, many years. So that's a little bit about me. Now, I have seen a breakdown a lot of the attendees here, but if you wouldn't mind, type in the chat there the type of company where you work, maybe the size of your company. If you're not comfortable putting that for everybody, feel free to drop it in for me and Kurt or anybody else at MEP. I'm not sure how you can break that down. Let's see, everyone, or maybe just Kurt or me, I'm not sure. So that'll just help me know how to kind of custom tailor this webinar. And just on a personal note, I was looking through the spreadsheet of attendees, and I the name escapes me. There was a company that does dog training and dog type products. We're getting a puppy this Saturday, my wife and kids and I. So we're gearing up for that to lose a bunch of sleep, but have a cute little puppy. All right, so I'm wearing a blue shirt, so I thought I'd find this incredibly attractive, probably male model guy. So maybe you'd think we're the same person, but I just want to warn you, the guy on the screen is not me. All right, I don't have those long locks there, and I'm not a male model by any stretch. But my goals for today are to really give you a strategy, so you can get more leads, boost SEO, and increase sales. And I do want you to help you do more with less. It's hard to hire people, and there's just some gaps that need to be filled. I really think that video can fill some of those gaps. I want to help you showcase your products, highlight your company, and demonstrate your expertise. And then I want customers to come to you. Now, I've been working exclusively with manufacturing companies for many years now, so I totally understand the B2B model. I understand you're not just selling to Joe Blow off the street, or you're not you don't have a simple product. Typically, the sales process is very long and complex, so we're on the same page there. But here's kind of the hierarchy we'll talk about. And then throughout these, Kurt and I will have a little discussion, as well as you. If you have questions, if you have comments, drop in a comment there, or if Kurt wants to unmute you and we can have a little chat, he can do that if he wants. So we'll kind of talk about this, and they all build on each other, hence the pyramid there. So let's jump in. So 73% of people are more likely to make a purchase after watching videos explaining a product and a service, right? So my question is always to manufacturers: do you have video content that will service all of those people looking for more information, for problems or solutions to their problems, to answers to their questions? Or like most manufacturers, maybe you don't have any content, or maybe it's one corporate video. And so we'll be talking about a lot of that. Great comment there, Jay. Yeah. So, obviously most people would rather watch a video than read an article. And I say most because there's many people that is the opposite. So I totally get that. You can visually demonstrate your products, showcase your expertise, improve your SEO, and then tell the story of your company, your people, your customers, your successes, right? That's key these days. I think, as we all know, it's less about shouting from the rooftops about you and your products, and more about telling the successes that you help your customers achieve, that you help your employees achieve personally, in their community, in their families. That goes a long way these days. All right, so the first foundational aspect is showcasing your authority. All right, so this goes with being customer centric, and I really want to focus, hence the foundation, about being customer centric, because most companies, probably not yours, right, that's watching this, but most manufacturers struggle with this. They are great at talking about themselves, their products, their services, all of that, and that's great. But there's a missing component where it's extra customer centric. So create some of these automated sales and marketing video pieces. And we'll talk about this more in depth here soon. But this is a video I created on LinkedIn alone. It has over 7,000 views, 24 comments, and counting. And you know what? It's up there 24/7. And I think this is one of the videos I typically put in a LinkedIn message whenever I reach out to connect with somebody. It's not salesy. It's high value, high good info. So here's a little pro tip. I didn't plan on saying this, but when you reach out to connect with somebody on LinkedIn, if you have a video that you've posted on LinkedIn, you can put that in the private message. Hey, this is Jeff Long. I like connecting with other manufacturers. I typically talk about sales and marketing things. Here's a video. And then I also say, I don't do any obnoxious sales in my thread or whatever. I just let them know I'm a marketing guy, but I'm not here to be that annoying marketing guy. So Kurt, how are you personally doing in showcasing your authority and being customer centric, or how are you seeing some companies do this well?
Yeah, well, great question. And again, guys, thank you for joining us. I think I saw my friend Gene Jones might have popped in. So Gene, happy Thursday, my friend. Thank you for joining. And Todd has dropped a comment. Kelly just dropped a comment. So again, guys, if you just came in, we're with Jeff Long, president of True Focus Media. Encourage you, invite you, welcome you. Drop your LinkedIn, drop your website. It's a great opportunity to connect with some friends here. We're geeking out today on video marketing strategies. I have a number of friends in the audience here. Jeff, I know Trish, Gary, Jay, and you, of course. I have a little live stream show. And so, if you go on my website, I have literally there, Jeff, I'm in my 50s. I have no hair, and I have hundreds of videos of me on my website. So if I can do it, dude, anybody can do it, right?
That. Exactly. It's not a beauty game,
It's not. Yeah, I'm not winning any beauty contest, but it's just, like you said, it's about that, number one. So guys, we're here talking about Jeff is a high level video marketing strategist. I've hired Jeff myself. I've used him. We've worked with other MEPs. He does tons of webinars. He's a great educator. And so, what I love about this marketing strategy, you hit it on the head. It's like our little tagline: how do you out teach the competition? And that's what we're going to get into. So let's keep the ball rolling, Jeff. Let's keep it firing away.
Share my screen again, and there we go. So I want to talk about, let me share here. There we go.
Yep.
All right. So then the next step is marketing. And I almost renamed this high quality content, right? Because typically, whenever I talk with a manufacturer, in the video of video comes up, or excuse me, the topic of video comes up, usually people think, hey, we need a high quality video promoting our company, right? And that's all they think about. And that's true, you do, right? For trade shows or for presentations and sales calls and social media, YouTube, your website. So let's kind of talk about that just real briefly, and then we'll get into other tactics and strategies for that. So I love this quote, all right, by Regis McKenna. Marketing is everything, and everything is marketing. From your customer service to your engineering to your salespeople to your business cards, right? It all matters. It all comes together. And so when we're thinking about marketing from a video perspective, you want to have a high quality type of video. So let me show you just a couple brief examples. And in all these videos, I'm probably just going to show you like, let's say 30 seconds or so, 30 to 60 seconds of some of these videos. You can go on our website, truefocusmedia.com, and you can binge a bunch of the videos that you'll see on the video marketing page there. But this one specifically was with Cargill. They opened a huge manufacturing facility in Lewisburg, Ohio, and they were going to do a big grand opening, but then COVID hit, right? And so they couldn't have, press and customers and all these people coming in. So we did a couple things. First of all, we did these high quality virtual scans of the facility. So you can go online and I'll show you this here in a minute, and look around some of the rooms and see it in high res. But we also told the story of why they have this facility, and it's very customer centric. So let me just play it here. Kurt, if you would let me know once I play it, if it's not, if you can't hear it, or if it's jittery, we'll just kind of shut her down and go to the next slide, because sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. But let me go here, and here we go. Is it coming through? Is like it's the music?
We can, no sound. We can see it, but can't hear it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna talk over this then as it goes. I'm not sure why it's not playing sound, but they talk about again why they created this facility. Oops. And just some of the benefits, and it's very customer centric. It's very customer focused on their exact key customers, which probably, like many of you in the audience here, you have a very specific type of audience, right? You're not just selling to the mass, people. You know exactly who your buyers are, or distributors, or whoever those the people you are working with. So anyway, we created that video for them to tell their story, to do a virtual grand opening. And so we created this digital magazine where a lot of these mini documentaries are housed at lewisburgwest.com. So you can see some of the website stuff we built, as well as these videos and documentaries.
Perfect. And Jeff, I dropped your website in the chat box for everybody. And again, I want to give a shout out. So pettutor.biz was a website that reference. And my friend Alan is here today. Todd is here. Steve's here. So again, guys, thank you for joining us. If you're just chiming in, we're here with Jeff Long from True Focus Media, and we've just covered. We're covering 7 of the top strategies for video marketing. We've got authority. Having that authority. Marketing is number 2. Jeff, let's keep it rolling, my friend.
Yeah. So since some of these aren't playing audio, I'm sure there's some switcher or something I need to click. But for time's sake,
yep.
I mean, you've all seen these high quality videos that are showcased at trade shows and websites and things. So again, to me, that's a no brainer. Like, you definitely need those. But I want to talk about, so I'll kind of skip through here. So this is that virtual tour I was talking about with Cargill, right? We went in, we scanned it in like super high res. So you can, on your phone or tablet or computer, kind of walk through a lot of the building. And then you see these like red and blue and green dots. Each one of those are different data points. So the blue dots are all video content, and then the green are more just short bullet points. I think red was more safety related. And so we kind of color coded a lot of these things throughout their facility. So even though this virtual tour isn't really a video, it kind of houses some videos. I mean, think about how maybe you could use this for your facility. And maybe you don't scan the whole thing. Maybe it's just partial or whatever. Trevor, you asked what software. There's several different types of software. We use Matterport is one of them. And then depending on the output or the distribution, we've used some other hosting providers to display those. So it's not always Matterport.
Jeff, what was that called again?
Matterport, Matterport. I think it's TT. Matterport.
Okay, Matterport. And then, hey, Trish asked a question. I think we'll hit that. She's talking about webinars, and I think you've got. Let's hit that when we get to training. How's that?
Yeah. And then Jay said there's an option to include sound when you do the screen share. Let me unshare this. Oh, there's share sound. Thank you, Jay. Perfect.
Thank you, Jay. Hey, and everybody needs to connect with Jay Skinner, and he opened us up with a song if you missed it. So Jay, you might have to close us out in a song today. Just give you a heads up. So
Jay saves the day.
Jay saves the day.
All right. So the next foundational part of any company besides marketing is sales, right? And so even though not every video should be like a heavy sales pitch, everything should be sales focused. So whenever I do consulting for the marketing department, we always want to make sure we bring in sales and have that discussion so they're not separate silos. So the average B2B customer watches 30 minutes of video content before making a purchase. So here's the question I always ask. Does your company have 30 minutes or more of video content of your products and services, answering questions? I've just found in my past 20 years, most manufacturers, they just don't have it, right? And thankfully, it's getting easier than ever. You know, it used to cost $1 bajillion, right, just to make one video, and they can be expensive, but we're going to be talking about some strategies that are more cost effective, and sometimes there's a higher ROI if you do them over time. So sales videos, right? So I want to play this real quick since I didn't get to play some of the other videos. So this is for Dayton Superior. They're a construction focused company. And so this is one of the videos here. Kurt, if you can't hear it or otherwise, just let me know. But it should work. We'll see.
Welcome to Dayton Superior's demonstration of the TopCast decorative finish system. In this video, you'll see how all the TopCast products work together to save you time and money. Let's begin with the TopCast SS100 Site Saver that is used to prepare your work environment before spraying the surface retarder. This innovative pre-project spray is designed to keep the surrounding work environment free from splatter, adhering to surfaces around your concrete placing and finishing operation.
So let me go back to my slides here. There we go. So along with that, I want to make sure that I give you a good tip here, because many of you probably have sales videos, but how can you then chop that up into segments? So with that, I didn't show you all the segments of that last video, but there's the SS100 that's highlighted in that video, the EX200 and the PR300 and et cetera. And so we built this video so that it could be one 5-minute video, but also chunked out to separate shorter segments. And I think that's somewhat of a newish thing in the past, I don't know, 5-8 years type of thing. It used to be we just create one video and call it a day, but now we're really hyper focused on how can we make it just more effective for email marketing and social and all those platforms. So I want to ask you, Kurt, and even the audience to chime in there in the chat, like, how are you seeing this done with cutting up videos and chunking them down and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are so bullish on videos. We're bullish for ourselves. We try to practice what we preach. We do live streams, multiple times a week. We do these webinars. We call it edutainment. Trish, that might be something that you and I might want to talk about when you're doing webinars. It's a great way. How do we get out there instead of outspend the competition on advertising? Where, like Jeff, last month we had our mutual friend Michelle Jones was here at Purdue. She called it the tactic sprint, We're like, hey, we need to do Facebook ads. Hey, we need to do an email campaign. Hey, we, like you just get caught in that race when like you take a step back. And what Jeff is talking about is like, how do we work smarter, not harder? How do we get more content? How do we repurpose it? So what we're doing is we take a live stream. So like you've been on our live stream show multiple times. As a matter of fact, I just did this morning. Yeah. So we did it. We call them our jam sessions. You came on and did a great video marketing jam session for us a few months ago. I took a little slice with just some golden nuggets that you shared on our program. So I didn't have, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I brought in a smart guy. And then what I did is I just took a little sliver of that clip. I dropped it on LinkedIn this morning. Then what we're doing is we're creating them on YouTube Shorts. And we're so excited. A person on our team was like, hey, why aren't we doing Instagram Reels? And so we started doing this about a month ago, on YouTube Shorts. We started doing this a couple months ago. We're literally getting hundreds, and some of our videos are getting thousands of views just because someone raised their hand and said, hey, why don't we take that long video, an hour of content, pull out a minute of it, drop it on YouTube. We get, for SEO friends out there, we get great backlink juice. And so that's what we're taking advantage of, and it's working really well, Jeff.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And so be thinking of kind of that multi-pronged strategy, right? It's not a one and done. It's like one, and then how do you leverage it to the max? And so I'm loving those results that you're seeing. And I'm seeing the same thing with, what we do, as well as, the companies we work with. And it's and what I love is there's still tremendous opportunities, especially for manufacturers, because most manufacturers aren't doing this at all or much, so I mean, some are doing it fantastically and they're dialed in and all that, but for a lot of them, they're not.
Hey, Trish dropped another question here. What do you think of explainer videos?
Yeah, it's how about this? How about I'm gonna click on this link and let's just kind of take a look and discuss it real quick here.
We at TerraLingua are often asked, what is the fastest and most cost-effective way to translate my materials? And we have provided answers to our clients all over the globe with our ISO certified protocols for over 20 years. We know there are many options.
So I'm gonna pause that. I mean, I think that's a great video, right? Yeah. And so often it's not a, should we do this video? It's more of like, should this one video we're talking about, that explainer video, be part of our overall strategy with additional content? And it's yes, right? So let me try to go back to that. Sorry. So that, can you see the YouTube video there, Kurt?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So what I like about this is a lot of it is text on screen, which can be good for a trade show. It can be good for social media where somebody, maybe they can't have the sound on, but they can read. So yeah, I think these are really good.
You hit something that just struck me. And so Trish, this is brilliant. Like each slide can actually be a social media post. Perfect. So again, as we geek out, we want to work smarter, not harder. How do you guys, we want to create a competitive advantage for you guys. So say with Jeff's point, if you shot a 5-minute video, you literally can create even like a 15, say 5, 10, 15-minute video. You can create a month's worth of content just on that short video and get yourself out there. So Jeff, I thank you for pulling that up. Trish, thank you for sharing that. Trish does amazing work. Trish, if you want to make sure, drop your website, drop your LinkedIn. You guys definitely want to connect with Trish. She is a powerhouse. She is wonderful. So definitely connect with Trish.
Awesome. Awesome. And Kurt, wow. I love that idea of like each frame can be a social media post, right? I mean, it's like, well, yeah, of course. Right. Yeah. I love it. I love it. So a couple, as I proceed here, it's going to be like drinking from a fire hose, and that's somewhat on purpose because I want to give you a lot of ideas, but I don't want to overwhelm you or confuse whatever. So maybe write down 1 or 2 things you want to do, right? I don't recommend doing all these all at once or this year, but just know at the very end, the last 2 points are going to be very specific strategies that I think you can take away and use that kind of pull all of this together. So if you're kind of feeling like, wow, Jeff's going everywhere, we're focusing this, right? True Focus Media is my company. We're focusing this as we go on. So
method to the madness, right, Jeff?
Exactly. So pre-sale videos, right? I mean, there's, whoops, let me go back. There's FAQs and product comparisons and pros and cons, industry trends, virtual 360 videos, social media. All of those can be done from a pre-sale environment, right? For this section, we're talking about sales. But then during the sale, there's FAQs, there's product demos and case studies and webinars. And like Kurt mentioned, I love that you're cutting up these webinars and different webinars you've done and then posting them online, right? We do that too and recommend that because, again, how can you get more mileage out of the one vehicle? You can cut that webinar up and place it on different places. You can even put it into like email marketing, you know? So if you get the same question over and over, maybe put that into your next email newsletter or your sales pipeline. Just be thinking about, maybe we could even create a sales webinar on purpose, really think it through. So it's less random and more hyper specific. And then we're going to cut that up and put that on social or email or website, YouTube or shorts or Instagram. Be hyper focused on that.
Hey, Jeff, I want to grab a comment here from Trevor. So Trevor, thank you for joining us. We've got reminder, audio can make or break a video's engagement and watch time, especially for the long form videos. Any thoughts, comments on Trevor's comment there?
Yeah, I mean, so especially with like, well, any video, if we can't hear you, that's almost more important than if we can't see you, right? So if my video is a little dark, I would rather you hear me than the lighting be perfect. And it's not an either or, but like, especially if there's no, captions or anything like that, which more and more often, I highly recommend putting captions on videos, especially if you're working with, markets overseas and non-English speakers. But a lot of times people are at work and they can't turn the volume on. And so they want to read it. So captions are key.
Well, I want to give a shout out to you. So you and I did a promo video like a year or 2 years ago for, we were doing a webinar for one of the MEPs and you and I did a little promo. And when you and I were next to each other, you had like perfect, lighting and everything. Like I was just like, it was not good. And so you gave me advice. I'm like, I bought like $100 and some camera thanks to you. And so I was on a webinar. I did a webinar with the Alaska MEP, a live stream yesterday. And one woman was commenting like, man, your lighting's so perfect. What light do you use? Because mine is so dark. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even use lighting. I just have a window next to me. And my buddy, Jeff Long, told me to get this great camera. So the camera made a difference. You recommended that I buy this ring light that I don't like. I'm not even using it. So I think, for folks out there like, man, do I have to buy a lot of expensive equipment? You really don't, Jeff, right?
No, not at all. I mean, I use the Logitech Brio. It's a 4K camera. It's probably under $100 still. And then, any lighting. I mean, one of my lights right next to me I think it was from Costco. I think it was like $25, right? Yeah. And granted, I have high-end, very expensive lighting for like our real shoots that we, go out and do. But yeah, in fact, I was going to offer this at the end. If people want kind of my recommended, either home office studio or office studio, kind of the same thing. Maybe email me. I'll put my email here. And I have I'll put my email in there. Shoot me an email. And if you want that breakdown of like what equipment to buy that doesn't break the bank, I'll send you that information and go from there. Yeah.
Checklist. And I don't want to distract because I want to get back on the program real quick. Our friend Alan asks, how do you feel about a business owner or service provider appearing in their own videos?
Yeah. Okay. So honestly, I don't think there's a huge right or wrong. I think there's a time and a place for like high-end professional, every word is perfect. Maybe it's even scripted. And those are difficult to do. But I also think, especially nowadays, the barrier to entry has been lowered so that authenticity is valued, right? And authenticity means we stumble, we say and maybe we mess up a word, right? But we keep that in the video because the content is key, because the authenticity is there. So I think that's important. I don't know that it always has to be the owner on camera. It could be, marketing or salesperson, somebody maybe that's very comfortable versus somebody in the C-suite. It's hard to answer exactly, Alan, what the exact answer for you is, but those are just some of my thoughts.
Alan, you handsome devil, I say go all in, man. Just, get out there and just everybody get on video, right, Jeff? Let's just all go all in.
And here's a secret. Hardly anybody likes being on camera, including me. Even though I've done, hundreds of videos, I kind of have to gear myself up. Here's my secret. I love teaching people. So I think, hey, if I can teach somebody something that
Yeah.
lowers my anxiety. I was just talking with another video producer yesterday about just being anxious about being on camera. Hardly anybody likes to do it, but yet you almost have to these days. So if you can teach or give value, or even in your mind, imagine one person you're talking to. Maybe it's your spouse or friend or whatever, somebody you're comfortable with. A lot of times that little trick, again, lowers that anxiety. So I have videos on my website, truefocusmedia.com, on how to feel confident and comfortable on camera. You can check it out. All right, so let's kind of breeze through some of these. And then post-sale videos, right? So once you've sold the product or service for some of you, is there a setup or install video, safety, troubleshooting, FAQs, or some type of customer training program you can put them through? We'll talk about that more here in a minute. But also with all of these sales type videos, I'm going to say something really ingenious, really smart. Just buckle up. Talk to your salespeople and ask their sales process, right? Talk to your top salespeople and say, hey, can we, break this down, create multiple videos for those sales steps? Not that you want to steal, business from them. You want to automate part of the sales process. And a lot of people feel very complimented if they are the expert on camera, right? So you can kind of play into that by highlighting them. People love to be highlighted, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. All right, so training, right? Again, this is where I think a lot of manufacturers can benefit from, is automating part of their training. So we'll just kind of, I'll highlight a couple of those. Oops, that didn't work. So here are some of the types of training you can do. And some of that might be video-based. Some might be text-based or quizzes. I mean, obviously, product safety, setup, install. What about new hire orientation, or employee certifications, or maybe it's tied to their pay increases. They have to go through some e-learning and show that they understand the material. And then obviously on the customer side, what can you create that would automate part of the customer service side of things on the setup, safety, install, wash down, tear down, whatever that looks like? What could you do to automate part of that process? We did this here. I'm just going to play a few seconds of this. Midwest Fasteners is they have a stud welding product. And we did I think it was an 8-part video series. One of their videos, let me just click on this on YouTube. I think that didn't work. I want to say it's like 30 or 40,000 views, right? So they're getting a lot of traction from this one video.
At Midwest Fast,
I'm going to actually skip ahead a little bit. Let's see.
Midwest Fasteners CD Portable. A closer look at the finished CD weld we've made shows the advantages of capacitor discharge stud welding. Since easy hookup and maximum portability allow you to use it anywhere, we only need 110-volt readily available electricity. With this, the equipment produces low levels of heat, or arc, for the actual welding process.
So a brief story about Midwest Fasteners. We did this 8-part video series. It dramatically cut down on the amount of customer service calls they were getting for this product, because they had specific videos for each part of the process, right? And they would send that out as part of a post-sale, part of the post-sale process. But it also helped them land one of their biggest clients to date. They were at a trade show, and they showed these videos, and the client, I think they're out of Dallas, said, hey, one of the reasons why we went with you is, of course, you're one of the experts in the field, but we can tell that you're forward thinking, that you care about customer service, and that you took the time, the effort, the money to produce these videos. You care about your product, right? And so we want to work with you. So they got a pretty easy, ROI on that.
It's just so efficient, like from a
Exactly.
sales and I mean, like it's beyond efficient. Jeff, and I want to be mindful of your time with your presentation. Give a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
time check. I've got like 23 of to be
Sure.
exact. So Jay says, Jeff, what is your process for doing or getting videos to your customer? These are great videos. Thank you, Jay. You produce them? That was a question. So 2 questions. What's your process for doing or getting videos to your customer, and did you produce them?
Yes, all the videos I've shown today, we've produced. So either we will go physically and shoot the videos and produce them and all that. Sometimes we'll, if there's budgetary constraints or otherwise, we have a pretty good partner network of other videographers and producers. So we'll send somebody more local. And then also there's a time and a place for more Zoom type of videos. And I'll show those here in a little bit, where it's not high quality. It's more about the content. That's the focus.
Yep. Perfect. And we've got a question here. Will the PowerPoint be going out? I believe we'll be sending the replay out. I believe I'll connect with Julie. It either comes from Purdue or myself. We'll be getting the replay out to you. If not tomorrow, it'll probably go out early next week. So we'll get the replay to you guys.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip, kind of go real briefly over this employee thing. We talked about this, but I do want to say a lot of companies I talk with have a labor shortage, right? And so it's like, how do we mitigate that? So highlight your employees with videos, tell their success stories and show why somebody would want to work at your company. And we don't have time, but I have, obviously a lot of videos that highlight this. Actually, I do want to show one because it's super quick.
Yeah.
So this is Stober Drives out of Kentucky. And this is a short 36-second video that we made for them. They also ran these, I believe, LinkedIn ads, as well as some other ads for new hires.
Are you looking for a job? With free health insurance, competitive pay, and a family-first environment, Stober focuses on work-life balance. Our state-of-the-art facilities are climate-controlled, with worker safety and comfort being our top priorities. You receive 2 weeks vacation starting out with endless on-the-job training and growth opportunities. Open jobs may include manufacturing, assembly, paint, shipping, or warehouse. Visit Stober.com/jobs for more information. Come join the Stober team.
Okay, so just a fun video, again, that they could use in different capacities. So be thinking, again, how can we automate part of our sales marketing, but also employee new hire and retention through video content?
And Jeff,
so let's kind of go ahead.
Jeff, great. People love the music, but just for the record, Jay is for hire. So if you need music in your next video,
there we go.
I don't know about that, but so anyway, hey, I want to segue real quick. And there's a number of manufacturers that they've started shooting videos of their processes. And I'm sure this isn't anything new. I'm probably being Captain Obvious, but it's, and so you get that new employee on the shop floor and you're counting on somebody to train them over, the same thing. And so maybe that person's distracted, maybe they're busy, the trainer, so they're not doing it the same way every single time. Well, now on video, now it is consistent. Now it's exactly how you want that employee trained, and that employee doesn't have to feel not so smart, because they can just keep hitting rewind. I'm like, wait, how do you do that again? How do you do that again? Instead of me having to ask you over and over. So if you guys haven't gone that route, man, I'm seeing great results with clients just using an iPad. They take an iPad or a tablet, go on the floor, shoot a video of a process. Doesn't cost a thing. You could do it on your iPhone, your whatever. But I'm seeing that's getting great results.
Totally. And Jay, yeah, thank you. I'm glad you liked the video. Stober Drives is one of my many clients where I always tell people, I love the companies I work with. Many of them I'd want to work there myself. If I didn't love what I did so much, Stober is one of those, man. They're just good people, probably most of the companies here today, or all of them, I would imagine.
So Jeff, we've got a few minutes. Let's do a quick recap here. Again, if anybody popped in a little bit late, thank you guys for joining us. We're here at the Purdue MEP Manufacturing Extension Partnership. If you have not connected with somebody from the Purdue MEP, boy, I encourage you, I invite you, I welcome you, I implore you. I believe Julie's here, my buddy Gene is here, Michelle's here. Connect with the Purdue MEP. They are doing just wonderful work throughout the great state of Indiana, helping manufacturers. If you're coming to us outside of Indiana, there is an MEP near you. So we've got somebody from Alaska, New York, Miami. So we have a couple of different states, different cities here represented. Contact your local MEP. But again, we want to thank the Purdue MEP. Jeff has run through 7 bullet points. So again, authority showcase, marketing, sales, training, deep dive on employees, which is fantastic. We just saw that. Now, Jeff, my friend, is everybody sitting down for this? We're coming into we're rounding third right now, Jeff. We're coming into home plate. Video value bombs, my friend. What on earth are we talking about here?
Yeah, so I'm really proud of this. These last 2 especially, I'm proud because I kind of developed them, and over the past 20 years, I've just looked at strategies, at trends, at patterns, and again, most companies, they think first we need to go the high quality video route. And they kind of just get stuck there. Again, that's important. But here's the other side of the coin is video value bombs and customer-centric content is key. So later you can go to videovaluebombs.com and learn more. But the premise is 70% of buyers fully define their needs on their own before reaching out to a salesperson. So again, what content do you have to answer their questions, showcase the solutions, and demonstrate your expertise? And that's why I created this video value bomb service. So it's a 3-step process. So, while I could talk endless about this, I'm really proud of it and the results it's given companies. I want to give this to you and kind of simplify it in the 3 steps. So first of all, it's content roadmap, right? So we create a content roadmap about what should you talk about every month, because the more content you're putting out there, the better. So think about what questions are you already being asked? What are your top performing blogs and articles and case studies and white papers? What are the 10 problems or mistakes your ideal customers have? And then make a list of, that alone should be like 30 to 50 different topics, and you can create 30 to 50 different short customer-centric videos. Right. So this is one we did for Greg Whitman at Spuncast. Let me just play it. Actually, let me see if it's linked. Yeah, so this is the video value bombs page here. So again, the goal for these are content. It's not like Hollywood up here quality, but it's more content focused. And so let me just click on
Have you ever
this.
found yourself needing a steel tube for your product design? Assume that maybe you have to take a tube off a shelf at a warehouse versus looking at all your customization options. My name is Greg Whitman and I'm from Spuncast Foundry, and today I'd like to take a look at customization specifically with a steel tube and why it might be a better option and save you both time and money. First of all
right, so that video is also tied to an article. A really in-depth article. And that brings me to step number 2, which is content multiplication, right? So with each video, we call them video value bombs, write a short article for each, create graphics, quotes from each, and even like what Kurt talked about, each frame, if it's a visually appealing frame, export that out as an image, and you have multiple graphics there. And so from one piece of video content, you can create multiple different types of other content so that we multiply it in step number 2. And then step number 3 is distribution, right? So where can you post and repost these videos every month? The more videos you have, almost the bigger that snowball gets as it rolls down the hill, right? So if you're thinking, hey, Jeff, does our one video, is that the video we should create? I don't know, but if you have 10 or 20 or 30, then you can start to see patterns, look at your stats, and then apply the 80-20 principle and create more. And then here's kind of a bonus tip or whatever about videos attract 300% more traffic to nurture leads. Let me just briefly go over these. we help with distribution, right? So you want to put these videos where your ideal customers are. We have a list of like 42 different places, but here are just a few. One of them I just want to highlight: your email signature. I don't know how many emails you send out every day, every week. Multiply that times your company. And what if you had a little blurb in your email signature? Hey, check out our latest video value bomb or power tip, or whatever you want to label it. And then that's a place where you can promote that content. Jay, yeah, we do come up with the topics. We have a content roadmap that we customize for each company. So great question.
Yep. And then real quick, I want to, Trevor dropped another comment. Thank you for joining us, Trevor. We've got, he's been using Loom videos for continuous education for their hires. And so Loom is another, I don't use it. A lot of people are sending me Loom videos for different situations. And so that is a great tool. So great hack, great tip. Thank you, Trevor, for sharing that with the crowd.
Yeah. And thank you. That was a great comment. I love Loom, big fan, been using them for years. Love it. Yeah.
Nice.
And then also, now that you have all this video content, you can create automated email sequences, right? So you can follow up with people. You can put them in different pipelines and segmentations. So just an example, Stober Drives here. We did 24 of these videos. Actually, right as COVID hit, we were pushing these videos out. And it was really a godsend because they have a lot of salespeople that couldn't travel, but now they have this material that they could send out. And it was a huge, it was just very powerful for them. And then also with this, we have a custom video player where at the end of the video, there's a sign up pop-up there where somebody can put their name and email. And now Stober or whoever knows exactly who is interested in that specific topic, because Stober Drives has offered a bonus or a download specific to that type of video, right? So you can really, really go deep in this strategy. So it's not just, you see a lot of people putting videos out there, and that's great, but like you can go even further with some of these additional strategies.
Hey, Jeff, let's, I know we're coming to time. Could you go back to that slide real quick? I just, for our SEO friends out there, I want to geek out for 1 second. So if you've been hitting some of our other webinars, go to the forward one. Yep, right there. Yeah. So we talk a lot about those, and we call them our RICs, our ridiculously important keywords, for any of my friends here that catch our webinars. And so, take a look here, gearbox motor installation, like that's a great keyword, putting that right into the title there. Minimize reducer mounting failures. So with your video strategy, get those ridiculously important keywords into the headlines. What we're finding with our lives, like we're being very intentional, attempting to be strategic with our keywords. So if Jeff comes on our program, like I'm intentionally using like video marketing for manufacturers, because like I'm trying to come up on search, Jeff's trying to come up on search, and boy, we tag team on things, we don't compete. So, like we're trying to collaborate together to get those Google rankings. If hopefully that made sense to you, if I fire that off too fast, just, I'll stick around the end or drop me a note, but use your headlines, get your keywords in your video headlines on YouTube or wherever else that you're sharing that content. I just wanted to throw that in there, Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the video value bomb thing. Let me just, for probably 2 minutes or whatever, lastly, talk about this. Again, we're kind of focusing more and more. This is a hyper-focused video marketing strategy. It's something I've just created recently called Trade Show TNT. And the goal is to explode your visibility before, during, and after the trade show. So I always ask manufacturers, like, what happens when you're at a trade show and your ideal customer walks up, maybe you scan their badge or whatever and give them a business card, and maybe they go back later that night at their hotel and pull up your website or social or YouTube. Do they see the exact content that meets their needs because they're at a specific trade show? Or is your website and social and YouTube, is it more general? I find that most companies, it's more general, right? So let's say you're going to FabTech or IMTS or East Tech or wherever, create content for that exact type of person that's going to be at that trade show. Share why somebody should come to the trade show. And then talk about what are you showcasing at the trade show. Highlight even the benefits of the city, the venue, the keynotes, and the influencers that will be there. And that's like a superpower tip, because if you talk about the trade show organizers, other keynoters, influencers, they're going to latch onto that, promote you. I have seen some like cool success stories because of that. So let's
Hey,
see
Jeff,
here.
great hack here. Timmy's got a question here. Timmy, thank you for joining us today. Jeff, do you have any tips on thumbnails for the videos?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they have to be attention grabbing, a little hyperbolic and over the top for the most part, just statistically. I'm less of the, over the top kind of guy. I'd rather it be more simple. So we've experimented with all that. It depends a little bit on you and your company and personality.
I think
Yep.
branding, if you want to create a consistency, like, some of the companies that you've just shown, like they've had great branding, the logo, the color, the look, the feel. So, I mean, and if you're in a more traditional, you want to keep it more professional. So to me, one thing to consider, like, how can you have like a consistent branding where, like, when I see that video or that thumbnail, I'm like, oh, there's Timmy's company or there's XYZ company, so that might be one more of a conservative approach.
Totally. And like we're working with an abrasives company. We're doing 12 videos of some of their key products. And so each thumbnail is the product and then a big, bold headline, very short, few words, right? So it's not this person being crazy and weird, it's a professional thing. Yeah. So last couple of things with Trade Show TNT, record a video podcast about the trade show and why you're coming, and promote the organizer. And then cut that up, create short videos about each topic, design quote graphics, write SEO articles, even produce a trade show recap video. We don't have time right now, but these are some of the videos we've produced for the Trade Show TNT service that we have. So sometimes people will send us footage, we'll edit it, or we'll do these interviews. We did that for Eddie Saunders Jr. at Adaptix. And so that's something I'm just seeing, that more and more companies have to think about creative ways to use videos before, during, and after a trade show. It's not just, hey, we're here, what do we talk about? It's a very strategic implementation.
Yeah, and Jeff, you and I had the honor and privilege. We attended the Industrial Summit, Industrial Marketing Summit in Cleveland last year, and we had a great time where we did some live streams and some videos, right on site, and we were pulling in different folks in our space. And I'll tell you, got a lot of, as a matter of fact, I still have those video clips. I am repurposing those. And so, it was just gathering a bunch of people. We talked for about 15, 20 minutes, had a great time. It was a good bonding, session for a bunch of us that, been longtime friends virtually. We came together finally through COVID, got to meet in person, and it was just a wonderful event. And so, I've had the honor and privilege of doing your video value bombs. We've done live streams virtually. We've done live streams in person. We've done videos in person. So there's a lot there. Yeah.
It's been fun being working with you there, Kurt. So lastly, I don't know if we promoted this much. I'm doing a free audit or video audit. Feel free to email me your YouTube channel or specific video if you want input. I'm very complimentary. It's not just a tear it apart type of thing. It's like, hey, how do we improve this? Or if you want, I mentioned it early on, if you want kind of my DIY studio gear, shoot me an email and I'll shoot you that checklist as well, and then connect with me here. And then yeah. So Jay, do you know how to monetize YouTube? Yes. That's not something we specialize in yet. That's something that's probably coming out here soon. But if you want to talk more details, we can chat.
Perfect. So, okay. Well, first off, how about, did 50 minutes just fly by or what, Jeff? So, man, if you guys have been hanging out, sitting down, how about a big round of applause for our dear friend, our presenter, our video expert, Jeff Long. So, boy, Jeff, this was absolutely fantastic. I learned tons every time I'm on stage with you. And so, guys, we're going to stick around for a couple minutes. Feel free to drop any of your questions in the chat box. Like Jeff said, what we could do is we could pop you off mute if you wanted to take a deeper dive, if there's something specific, you want us to take a look at anything. So again, we're going to stick around for a couple minutes, but Mark, thank you. Caroline in Alaska, thank you. Trish, my friend, Alan, thank you, sir. Appreciate you guys. Again, we know how busy you are. You're running in 100 different directions, so we never take it for granted when you take time out of your busy day to join us. We always are full of gratitude and thank you guys. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you, everybody. So I dropped Jeff's LinkedIn in the chat. I've dropped my LinkedIn in the chat. Would love to connect with you guys. Connect with your friends in here. This is a great opportunity to get some new LinkedIn connections. And again, if we have any questions, Jeff, anything we'll wait for a minute or two to see if anybody wants to pop in anything. And again, hey, Gene, are you out there somewhere? Where's Gene? Is Gene still here? Oh, Gene's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, there's Gene. So hey, Gene, my favorite friend. How are you, dude?
Doing well.
So, hey guys, this is Gene Jones from the Purdue MEP. So once again, any manufacturers, if you have not engaged, if you've not connected, if you've not taken full advantage of the Purdue MEP, Mr. Gene Jones is a man, Navy veteran, love this guy. Julia's here today. I think Michelle's here. So connect with any of these guys through the Purdue MEP. Gene, anything that you want to shout out to everybody? There he is. Look at that guy.
No, great content, great session as usual. Jeff, you really did a nice job with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect. So Jeff, anything else that we want to cover? I know we threw a lot at everybody, right? So you've got the 7 points. Out of all of them, I don't know if like that authority might be like, hey, what do you mean by authority? That might be a little bit of a foreign word to manufacturers that are new to marketing. Let's go there for a minute. And when we talk about that authority, like you hear like influencers, you might be, yeah, like my kids, watching somebody blowing it up on TikTok, or like, talk a little bit about like what do we mean by authority? We know that's really important with Google and SEO, but talk a lot about that for a minute.
Yeah, that's great. And so all companies have experts in, whether it's their CEO, engineers, salespeople. And I mean, I actually knew a guy that wrote this amazing book called Stop Being the Best Kept Secret, right?
Hey, what a coincidence. What a coincidence. That's my mom's favorite book right there. Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. So how about that one, huh?
And so I think, like I said, there's a lot of internal expertise that maybe your customers know, and from a sales perspective, but like, how could you get that expertise out there? So with authority, showcasing your authority, that's all it is, right? It's how can you teach somebody? How can you talk about industry trends and show that you are aware of where your industry is going? Because some of us have a lot of competition. So how does your ideal customer weed through that? Well, if you're always out there creating content, you and your company, showcasing your expertise, your authority, talking about stats and patterns and trends and all that, they're probably going to go with you, more if everything else is equal, they're going to go with the expert or the perceived expert.
And I'll be honest, it works both ways because though my mom thinks I'm for everybody, Jeff, I am not for everybody. So sometimes by putting that video out there, if you're just not a great fit, why go on the first date? You know what I mean? Like if there's something, I was looking for something that, I was looking for a particular product. I was looking for a different service. I worked with the Impact Washington, which is the state of Washington MEP. We had a large manufacturer, like their customer service was getting a lot of bad leads. And you're like, man, why are we getting bad leads? Like on their website, it made it very clear, they were trying to, there was a service and it seemed like Captain Obvious when we discovered it, but it was like, the customers were getting frustrated, customer service was getting frustrated. So, again, it works both ways. It helps get, when we use that word, sales reps always love that word, quality leads. How do we get those quality leads? I did have one question that slipped past me. Mark, thank you for joining us today. Videos can get expensive. Do you recommend even low quality in-house made videos rather than no video? Jeff, the expert, is going to answer, but my quick answer to you, Mark, dude, if you got one of these, you can do videos. Jeff Long, what do you think?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, there are affordable tools these days, from our own smartphones to our tablets or laptops or webcams, right? And so that's where the authentic video content is critical, right? Again, there's a time and a place for like high quality, high end videos. That's great. but there's also a necessary need for authentic videos that maybe don't look perfect. And you know what? You're going to get better with time. Like nobody does their first video or their first 5 or whatever and feels like they're perfect. In fact, all my videos I put out, I'm like, oh man, should I put this out? I'm my own worst critic. Everybody is.
Yeah. Again, I've done hundreds and I still, I'll get comments. Hey, Kurt, this, or hey, Kurt, like my hair was messy one day. Just kidding, Jeff. But, I get the goofy comments like, but I make goofy mistakes all the time, but it's just, the word that you dropped earlier, the big takeaway today, authenticity. We have another question here from Adam. Adam, thank you for joining us today. We've got 20-second quick social reel versus 2-minute pro web video. Which will make the most impact? Which will drive more leads? Great question.
Yeah. So I don't think it's an either or question, right? I don't, if that's going to blow your budget or whatever, then I don't pick one and see what happens. Right. Cause every industry and stuff is different. So I can't be like, oh, definitely do, go this way. To me, it's both and, right? You should have the high quality. So I'll kind of answer your question here, Adam. I think more companies should start with, I'll call them lower quality videos, but these authentic videos. So the video value bombs, right? Where it's people talking on their webcam or phone. You can dress that up with some different ways, and that's what we do. But I would start with that because more and more people are resonating with authenticity versus perfection. In fact, studies show, especially millennials and Gen Zers, they almost distrust perfect content, whereas they trust more authentic content.
Wow.
So as those ages get more, older and more into the buying and decision-making process, that's going to be a big factor.
The millennials now are well into their 40s. Put that in perspective. They're our bosses now. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude, but millennials are in their 40s now. So the thing is, these are folks making buying decisions. They are executives. They are engineers. They are owners of companies. And Jeff, I don't know if we could say that loud enough, strong enough that they want to see the video, they want to see information, and again, if you don't take the time, and it is hard to stop and say hey, you know what, I'm going to put out you talk about sales videos, informational videos, you're like, oh, I don't have time to do that. I'm too busy because I'm answering the same question 20 times over and over. And trust me, I get it, but to take that minute and stop and get that video, boy, you're just really going to thank yourself. So just it's like sports. Just sometimes you just got to get on the playing field and just play the game. You're going to get dirty. You're going to get tackled. You're going to miss a block, but just get on the field. Jeff, anything? I want to be mindful of everybody's time. Again, thank you. You guys are cutting out. I know we're over time a little bit, but I want to make sure that we get every question answered. Thank you to all of our attendees today. We deeply appreciate your trust coming to the Purdue MEP. We want to thank the folks at the Purdue MEP. Again, reach out to Gene, Julie. I think Michelle was still here. Reach out to Art Thomas was mentioned in the chat box. Alan mentioned Art. Boy, big shout out to our friend Art Thomas. What they're doing at the Purdue MEP, they have a wealth of talent. The resources are just off the charts. They help you with all sorts of different things, boy. And it's kind of like, your friend that has a guy, if they don't have the internal resource, they have a guy that can definitely help you. And so Trish, thank you for joining us. She says, great shout out here to the Purdue MEP. Jeffrey, any words of wisdom, parting thoughts that you want to close us out with?
No, I love what you just mentioned a minute ago about just get in the game, right? Yeah. And so experiment, take the pressure off of perfection.
Yeah.
Pull out your smartphone, your webcam, and just 30 to 60 seconds. Tell us what's on your mind. Tell us your expertise or where you see your industry going, or a question that a customer just proposed to you. A lot of times I'll create content right after a sales call or a customer call or something like that, where it's fresh in my mind, and that becomes gold. So just get in the game, and then you can see the data and move forward with maybe more professional type content as well.
I'd say for folks that come into our e-commerce workshops, our little tagline we could close out in this is how do you help your ideal buyer make a buying decision on a Friday night at midnight without having to wait for you to open up your doors on Monday? people are in different time zones. Maybe you're dealing internationally or just, with people working remote, like they could be working at all different hours of the day. But how can you just put out just so much great, wonderful content that by the time they do call you on Monday morning, man, they are hot and heavy and ready to buy. So boy, I really encourage you guys to, great takeaway. Again, Jeff, thank you, my friend. I just, you and I have done tons of programs together and you just never cease to exceed expectations. You're just such a blessing to all of us. Appreciate you sharing your time, your passion, your expertise, guys. Video value bombs. Where do you come up with that? Our dear friend, Jeff Long, if you're in Indiana, he's a stone's throw away. He's right over the border in Dayton, Ohio. Great family man. And we're very fortunate to have Jeff share with us today. So guys, thank you.